Good evening, Googlers, and welcome to today's GEG A Man Techie Tip Tuesday together. My name is Georgina Dean, and I am the GEG leader for GEG A Man, and I am super excited to welcome our guest today, who is...
Hi!
Dina, all the way. Go ahead, yeah. I think there's a bit of a delay, but go ahead, Dina.
A little bit. Dina, I'm calling in from Cairo, Egypt.
Super exciting. So Dina has been a member of GEG Man pretty much since we started, which has actually been a year. So it's kind of fitting, Dina, that we bring you on as a special guest to help celebrate our 1-year anniversary. So thank you for being such a dedicated and valuable member of our GEG community. We really appreciate your support, and we're so lucky to have you here today.
Thanks for having me, and I was going to say, I can't believe it's been a year. That has flown by.
I think there's a saying, right? They say when you're having fun, you don't really notice the time. I'm sure I'm not saying it right, but...
Definitely. Time flies. I can't remember the phrase either, but time flies when you're having fun, right? And you don't realize how fast it's going.
Yes, that's the one. Perfect. So yeah, it has been such an amazing ride, and we won't get into the nitty-gritties of this celebration today, since this is all about you today, Dina. But we are very grateful that you are joining us and that you continue to be such an inspiring member of the community. So thank you for everything you're doing. And for all of the Googlers who are joining us live, please let us know in the chat where you're joining from. And feel free to also share your Twitter handle or any of your other social media platforms that you would like to share to collaborate with everybody globally. And yeah, Techie Tip Tuesday, I think this is our 3rd episode, Dina. So we had Wendy joining us from Feel Better EDU about wellness and well-being, and we had Shannon joining. Wendy's from the UK, by the way, and we had Shannon joining from I never say the name of her city correctly, but she's in the US, so she joined from the PT time zone. And now we have Dina from Cairo, Egypt, so closer to our time zone. We're only apart by 1 hour now, right, Dina?
Yeah, 1 hour.
So it's nice to have somebody from our own community too. And Techie Tip Tuesday, guys, is all about the community piece. So we were really thinking about how we wanted to roll this 2nd season, and we thought that especially with the current COVID times, that it's more and more important to have that human piece and to connect within the community. So Dina, you are such a super inspiring education technology leader, as well as a super mom. And I only can vouch for Dina because I often I'm hearing her story, since we're also friends. We've been working together for quite a few years, right, Dina?
We have, what was it, 5 years, I think we were together, 5 years, and then you left Egypt and went to Jordan.
Oh.
Behind.
Oh, I didn't see that one coming. I certainly did not. We're still together. See, we're now live together as well. We'll always be together.
There are no boundaries, right? Google everywhere.
I love that. That's awesome. Google everywhere. Brilliant. So yeah, no, we will be connected forever. Google allows us to stay connected locally and globally, so absolutely. And yeah, let us know in the chat. I know we have a few viewers, so we're looking forward to connecting with everybody globally. So let us know where you're joining from, and also if you have any questions for Dina. So today's short community episode is just to hear, Dina, all about your inspiring story and what are some of the amazing things that you're currently doing that help you continue to wear your super mom cape at the same time as wear your super teacher cape and your super assistant head cape. And so you wear a lot of different capes. Some people refer those as hats, different hats as well. But yeah, let's start with how you're balancing, tell us a little bit about what you do, first of all, Dina, at work, and then also with your personal life, and then we can get into how you're balancing that, yeah?
Okay. Firstly, I think that you're too kind, and I don't deserve so much praise at all. There's millions and millions and millions of people who are in the same boat doing the same thing. So I think it's just about sharing how we're all coping and managing And I have my ups and downs. I have my good days. I have my not so good days. Some days everything's working, and other days the balls are just like flying all over the place. So it is hard, and I definitely am not the only person in this situation. So basically, at school, I currently have two roles. So I am wearing a couple of different hats. I'm a class teacher, but I was also promoted to assistant head role with extra responsibilities for online learning and Google and stuff. So it's really exciting. But yeah, a lot to juggle. And just adjusting, to teaching with the hybrid model, and everything's a little bit different. So like everyone else, just trying to find ways to help me sort of manage that. Um, I do have a family, so I have two kids. Luckily, and I say this to all my friends, I am so grateful that they're in middle. So my son is in middle school and my daughter's in high school. So I'm so grateful that they are older, because that does help a lot, because they're more independent. I know my friends who have little ones are finding it really difficult to kind of balance everything. Um, Really, the best tip I can give is just finding little ways in your day and little things to do. Like there's no like master plan, and there's no like secret key or anything. It really is about looking at your life and your day and just finding little things to do that help cut a few minutes off, cut an hour off. So I think my top tips are: one, my life is scheduled. Everything is on a timetable. Everything is
Oh.
scheduled, because I mean, which is a little bit disappointing, not disappointing, but it's hard because the spontaneity is a little bit less. However, the timetable helps me keep on track of almost everything. Um, Georgina, can you hear me? Because I can't hear you.
I can. I was just letting you speak. I didn't want to interrupt you, and I think
Okay.
there's a bit of a delay.
Okay.
But I did want to
Okay.
ask, since we have broken it up, I wanted to ask about your schedule, because obviously you're going to give us a whole list, and we're very happy to hear that. But I wanted to just dive into each one to understand. So this timetable that you keep, some people like to have physical book diaries. Some people like me use Google Calendar that are color coordinated in my Google Calendar. Some people like to post it on their refrigerator door. So tell me about your calendar, Dina, and what is working for you as a busy ed tech leader and mom.
Okay. So I kind of have two. I've tried different versions and different things to kind of find out what suits me the most. And what I'm doing at the moment, which is working okay, is I've separated house from work completely at the moment. And so work, everything is Google Calendar now. I used to be a hard copy kind of person. I liked everything on my little notebook, but now I'm trying to go paperless, and I have my phone in my pocket, my laptop in my hand, whatever, and everything is on Google Calendar, which was not something I was very comfortable using before, but I am definitely developing my use of calendar now. So everything is being put on there so I don't forget, because there's just so many things to remember, right? It's meeting after meeting, or then you're in class, then you're in a meeting, and deadlines. So definitely calendars being filled up for work. For home, it's a little bit more old school. I have a whiteboard in the house.
Oh.
And the purpose of the whiteboard is it's reusable, so I don't have to use paper, and then it's big enough for the family to see. So my husband, the kids, and myself, it's in the living room where everyone can see it, and it'll have like our schedule on. So for example, like for now, the kids are at home for a week and they're at school for a week. So like depending on if you're in school or at home, the timetable kind of changes. So my daughter does horse riding, so that's on the timetable. So we know what days she has their horse riding training, if there's any online lessons that they need to know about. So it's kind of a mix of school related and then just home related stuff. So if there's any live lessons going on, I know the kids should be responsible for their own, and they are. They're doing a really good job. But I also have it on the whiteboard just as a reminder. So if someone's passing through the living room for a game on the PlayStation, he can't forget that he has a lesson at 10 o'clock, so it's there in his face.
And it's so
So the whiteboard helps.
I was just going to say it's so important that those reminders or notifications are like almost in our face. So I know you may not have intended to emphasize that, but it's true. Like if I, for myself, even don't hear that alarm go off, like the buzzing notification, like I may not remember also that I have something coming up because it's not always right there. And so whatever it takes to help us, be
Yeah.
actually, in it, aware that it's coming up is important too. Yeah, no, great point.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So for
Yeah, so
the
that's the timetable. Go ahead.
No, that's good. And so the timetable is so important. So again, the tips for the community that are listening right now, just remember that whatever it is that works for you, then make sure that you put that into place. So for Dina, this whiteboard has been really helpful. And I know, Dina, some people even have those like, what are they called? Pin boards on the walls as well, that they
Yeah.
can pin things to. Have you seen that before?
Yeah, like the cork boards, aren't they? With the thumbtacks. Yeah, yeah. I've seen those, but for me the whiteboard works. It's just quick, easy. We can rub things off. The kids can write on it like if something's changed that I need to know about. And so, and we color code it, so we've got the different colored markers. So yeah, that works.
No, that's perfect. And so definitely make sure that your calendar, that you are using a calendar of some sort, definitely is going to help out. I just noticed that my video is getting a little glitchy, so I'm just going to try and lower the resolution a little bit. Dina, we may keep you on since you're going nice and strong, so let's see how that works. But yeah, let's move on to another point, Dina. What is something else that has really been helping you balance being at work and being a superstar mom?
I know it's going to sound really funny, and this was well before COVID anyway, when I was just trying to find ways. When I realized that I was dropping the ball, and when I realized that I was coming home and dinner wasn't ready, and my family were hungry, and I felt really, really guilty about that. So I came up with a menu system. So again, I have another whiteboard in the kitchen. And so at the end of the week, I come up with our menu for the following week, and it's breakfast, lunch boxes for when the kids are at school, and then dinner for when we come home in the evening. And I
Wow.
don't know about other people's families, but I'm assuming a lot of the same, and that when you have 2 or 3 kids, they don't all like the same things. So that's where the menu comes in really handy as well, because my daughter and son have very different likes with regards to what they like to take to school to eat. So the menu kind of covers all of that. It's got lunch boxes for both of them, breakfast for both, lunch box for both, and then dinner for everyone. And so I do that for the week and do my grocery shopping at the weekend, so I'm ready for the week ahead. And it just removes that element of having to think about what we're going to eat. Like the hardest thing coming home after a long day of work is, okay, what are we going to eat today? And then you have to start cooking. And then you realize, oh, I don't have the ingredients I need for this meal that everyone wants today. So I found with the menu, it really, really helps because I don't have to think about it. I know Sunday, we're going to come home and we're going to have whatever burgers and chips. I know tomorrow we're going to have stir fry, and I don't have to think about it. So that's I think that's my biggest tip ever. Changed my life doing that.
Really? So it's all about the
Mm.
menu, right?
Yeah. It really helps, and it helps with the kids as well. And it stops the question: What are we eating? What are we eating? What are we eating today? They know. I'm just like, look at the whiteboard. They know what they're prepared. There's not going to be any arguments. Everyone just knows this is what's on the menu. And you know what? If they don't like what's on offer, well, you can make yourself something else.
Right? You know where the fridge is, you know where the cupboards are. I love that, Dina. And these are good tips for me. If I ever have kids, then it's something that I'll keep in mind. But this is why I wanted to bring you on, Dina, to as a guest for today's show, because you do have all of these amazing strategies that are obviously working for you as a busy mom. And of course, myself being a single person without children, I would never be able to come up with those ideas. So thank you for sharing that. So if you are a parent watching the show, then definitely keep tabs of these tips that are helping Dina. Dina, I also wanted to ask you, because I know that you are a avid horseback rider. It's one of your passions, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So I was curious to know, how is it that you have energy to go horseback riding and with your wonderful children and lovely Salma, your daughter, after a full day in the classroom, whether that's online or in person, teaching and then planning and marking and doing your leadership role? I would like to know where you find the energy to go horseback riding. What is it that keeps you in the go, basically?
You know what? It's a good question. I don't always make it. I love it, and it is my passion, and I'm trying really hard to stick with it. And I think again, it comes down to two things. One is a timetable. So as a family, we've chosen the days that we're going to ride. So my husband also trains, so he has his own schedule. But me and Salma have decided on 4 days a week. So
Ah,
that's part of our timetable. So we know today is so Monday, Wednesday, for example, and the 2 day, Friday, Saturday of the weekend. We know that those are riding days. And I think also knowing that that's on your timetable, again, it's just something you're
ah,
programmed that this is the next thing I'm going to do. So even when your energy level is a little bit lower, it's there and it's on the list. So I know that I'm going to be doing that today, if that makes sense. And there are days where, to be honest, I am really tired, and some of the same sometimes, and we just, we might say, okay, instead of today, we'll go tomorrow. But we do try to stick to the timetable because that's kind of, it's a snowball effect. Once you start missing a
mm,
day, it's like, okay, well, you can miss the next day and you kind of lose track of it. But it's like lots of people, I know lots of people have different things to do, like working. I have friends who like to work out every day, friends who like to go for walks. I know you used to do tons of working out. It's hard, and I think also, yeah, I know you're working out all the time, and I used to ask you the same question, like, how do you do it? With all the work that we're doing, how do you then go and like ride your bike for hours and run for hours? So I think it's just, yeah, it's just kind of having that mindset that this is something that I need to do and also something that I want to do. And the days that I think some days where my energy is low and I don't always feel like I'm going to be able to do it. Once I get there and I get in my gear and I get on the horse, I kind of then disconnect from everything. So I'm always kind of grateful that I did go through with it and go riding. Because it's easy to say, oh, I'm tired, I'm just going to go home. But once I get there, and I think it's the same for everyone else, like once you get to the gym and once you get in the pool or once you start walking, and you kind of disconnect from the work and you disconnect from the busyness and you kind of just focusing on what you're doing. It might be playing an instrument. I mean, it doesn't have to be sports, right? It could be anything. It could be painting, whatever your passion is really. And I think it's just once you get in that zone, you realize, oh, you know what? I really needed this. This was really good for my well-being.
I think that's really, really, really important. And I like what you said about, it brings to mind words like determination and persistence and resilience, that even if we're feeling a little bit low or tired or not really wanting to get there, just actually physically moving to the space where you want to do the activity is half the battle, right? And I think there's another saying. I obviously don't have enough coffee yet to get my saying straight today, but there is a saying about mindset is like half the battle, right? And
Yeah.
so I couldn't agree more with you on that. But it also brings the point, like you said, about well-being and wellness. And I think that the healthier we are, and I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me on that, but I do think that the healthier we are in mind, body, and soul, then the better equipped we'll be to handle a heavier workload, a heavier plate of things that we have to balance and juggle in the day. I think the scale would even itself out easier if we're on a good well-being grounding, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And Dina, in the chat, we have joining us today Shannon, who actually we mentioned earlier. Hi, Shannon. And also Mel. Mel is joining us. Mel, I can't remember where you're from, dear. Somewhere in America, I think. So welcome to Mel.
Hey Mel, hi Shannon. We were just chatting on Twitter the past couple of days.
No way. What a small
Yeah.
world.
So that's awesome. Hi girls.
You have fans, Dina. I'm telling you, they're everywhere. And it's probably just Georgina's lack of time for social media management that we don't have we don't have many more live at this particular time. But as you know, with GEG Man, lots of people like watching this show after the fact. So don't worry about that. So Shannon and Mel, let us know if you have kids and you're also, I know you're both in education, so let us know if you have kids and if you have any questions for Dina, since she is a rock star and this is what she's here to do, is help us answer questions to support working parents. Dina, you also are really popular in your community in Cairo, Egypt, being that you've been there and you have a big professional learning network and personal one as well, and all your families there. Well, a lot of them, I should say. So let me know. What do you feel are some of the main themes that are coming out with this issue amongst your friends as well? Do you think that this is an issue with a work-life balance only in education, or do you see within your communities that this also extends to other workplaces and scenarios as well?
No, I think it applies to a lot of people, not just education. I mean, I think people in education are having a really difficult time, especially if you are a parent and like if you're a parent and teacher at the same time, because that balance is really hard, especially for teachers whose kids are maybe in hybrid, they're not in school full time. So I know that's a challenge. But I also have friends who aren't educators, and yeah, they're having the same kind of issues as well because maybe they have a job, a full-time job, but their children are at home and they're not at school. So that's a challenge for them. I know a lot of the parents at our school are facing.
Bit of a delay, but she'll be back. Hang in there, guys. And I think Dina's right. When she comes back, I'll just stop talking so that it will pick up her lag, her speech lag. But basically, yeah, I absolutely would agree with Dina. And I do think that parents are struggling, especially those that are working. And then they also have to, caregive and babysit and look after their own children. And depending on the age of their children, that can obviously be really stressful for them. Are they going to need to watch them 24/7 during the working hours, or can they leave them for a certain period of time to be independent learners while they're online virtually? So it definitely is an area of concern for many parents right now. So I think what happened is we lost Dina on the Google Meet, but that is okay. She may be back, and we will hear that come in when she enters. So until then, Shannon has a question in the chat. I'll try to answer, even though I'm not a mom, and let's see how that goes. Dina is back now, so let me just pull her back into the show. There she is.
Hold on a sec.
We are holding.
So sorry, I lost my connection, so I've switched to my phone. I don't know what happened.
But you know what, Dina? This is a perfect example of things that happen in your real world, right?
Well, the thing is, because we're like we're doing stuff in the house, and I've had painters in, so I'm wondering if maybe someone's like moved a wire around or something. I don't know. But yeah, there we go. We've solved it. No problem.
No, we're so glad you came back. This is awesome. So we have a question in the chat from Shannon before we get to that question, I want to ask about this because depending on where you're living, and I know that there are some families and students that are also what's the word I'm looking for? That are struggling because of connectivity issues, and so
Yeah.
look how quickly you left and look how quickly you came back because of the connection issue. What else is like that in your life where you have to quickly adapt to things as a working mom?
Oh my gosh, so many things, so many things. Because it's like, you'll be at work and then you get a phone call. Oh, mommy, there's this problem. What do I do? And it's like, hold on a second, and you're sending an email, and then you need to send, kind of think on your feet all the time. And I think we all think on our feet all the time anyway. But when you add on, your family coming at you with questions whilst you're at work, I think that's sometimes a little bit of a challenge. I used to have a rule of no phone at work, and it used to live in my locker, but obviously over the past few years, now that we've moved into using more tech and stuff, you always have your phone with you, right? So you know, like your phone is in your hand all the time, so you're more accessible than I'm more accessible than I used to be. So the children would never have been able, or my husband been able to get to me if I was at work before, but now obviously, there's messages which come to him like, oh, what do I do for this? So it's kind of just balancing it and making sure that it doesn't interrupt it with your job, obviously.
No, it's super good advice, like really, really good advice. And again, I'm so grateful you're here to share that because without being a parent, then I wouldn't have the same advice. Dina, we have a question in the chat from Shannon. She's asking, what are the steps you take when the balancing act fails? So this is a really good question too. Do you struggle with giving yourself grace, or are you good? Is it something that you had to develop, etc.?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think, again, it comes down to your different personalities, right? We're all different, and I'm generally, what's the
Awesome.
word? I have
Awesome.
no, no,
Amazing.
no, no,
Inspiring. Brilliant.
no. No. You're too kind, honestly. I was gonna say I have high expectations of myself, so I don't like it when I don't. When I feel that the balls are dropping, I do get upset because I want to do it all, and I want to do it all. I want to do it all well for everyone. So I do find it really hard not being able to do it all. However, with coaching over the past couple of years and professional dialogues and personal dialogues with friends, you have to kind of, again, change the mindset to accepting that we can't all do it all the time and we need to be kind to ourselves. So the days where it's not all going great, I kind of just take a step back and take a deep breath and say, it's okay, I'm doing my best. And luckily, my family is so supportive.
Yeah.
Like, my husband is super supportive. If this day, like these, we're going into half term in 2 days, so you can imagine everyone's really tired. Food's not been great this week, but they're like, you know what, don't worry about it. We'll make a sandwich. We'll fry some eggs. So it's really nice when you have that support at home, and I'm lucky to have that. So it helps me not feel so bad about myself. And then I just take a day and I just accept, I think it's all about accepting it, right? I accept, okay, I didn't do such a great job yesterday. Things didn't really work out. It's okay, I'll take a breath. I'll look at my plan again, maybe make some adjustments and start again. What else can you do?
Dina, I absolutely love that. And you have a lot of love in the chat, as I'm sure you know for myself. And now the people that are joining us in the chat are saying the same, that we all want to do a really good job at what we do. And I think it's an underlying statement of most educators, right? That we want to do the best job we can for our students. And it's one of those pieces that therefore add on the tiring plate that we already have, because we also, well, yourself as a parent, not me, you also want to do the best you can for your own personal kids as well. So such an important question for us to tackle together, Dina. But I'm really glad that you said that your family's supportive, and I'm glad to know that that is a family affair, as the expression goes, that you guys tackle that together. And that's obviously also thanks to outstanding parenting as well, because your kids wouldn't be necessarily responsible or know to take initiative or to be helpful unless you've instilled those nice values and helped them build that resilience and life skills throughout their life, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like to think that, we've done a good job with them, and that's why, they're independent and they're able. And again, I was going to say, like, I think one of the, like, if we're looking for positive things as well out of this whole COVID experience, I think the fact that families have had to spend so much time together has maybe given more families opportunities to kind of build those relationships. Because, I mean, life's super busy, and the past few years it just seems to be getting faster and faster, especially like if you live in a city like we do. It's just like never ending, and you're always running from one thing to another. So I think when the world kind of stopped and everyone was at home, people got that opportunity to really work on their family relationships. And I think, yeah, I've heard lots of positive things from parents and from friends about how, them and their children are connecting more now and bonding more and being more supportive of each other, which is really nice to hear. But I think also we also need to mention, like, not everyone has, that family network. I have lots of friends who are in the country who are single and who are living here alone, and their families are back in the UK or in America, wherever in the world. And I think, because you touched on this about before I got disconnected, about friends. So it's not just your family. Like, if you don't have family around with you, it's about your friend network as well. And a lot of us, I mean, me included, with my single friends who are here, or with my friends who have partners or whatever, again, as friends, we all connect and we support each other. And I think that's really important as well. It's kind of like, extended family, kind of, in that sense.
I think you touched on a good point that your networks they all connect as parts of a puzzle into your whole, into your
Yeah.
whole well-being, that balancing act, etc. So no, I think that's important. And I think it's right. My husband's even always saying to me, because I'm like, "Oh, I love working from home. This is so great and I can get my workout in and I don't lose time driving to work every day." And he's like, "You need to go see people, otherwise you're not going to be so outgoing anymore soon if you don't go and socialize with people." So even he's trying to help me also recognize the fact that, yeah, we are human, and one of our innate needs, or I was going to say features, but no, it's definitely needs, not features. We're not an inanimate object. Is to be with people, is that human connection piece. So I think you're totally right on that point.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that really help people get through like lockdown and working from home, is that having that human connection. So and we have technology, so also people were connecting with their families back in the UK or wherever they were. There was lots of family games going on, and it was really nice. I think in the end we are humans and we do need that human connection. And I think, however, whether it's through friends or immediate family or whatever form or shape your family comes in, it's really important. Pets, I mean, how many people reconnected and really developed their relationship with their pets? I know our dogs were thrilled when we were at home and they saw us so much more. It all helps. It's all part of your well-being, like, yeah, it's just about finding what helps your well-being.
I love that. It's all about what helps your well-being. So as educators, just as we personalize the learning experience for our students as best we can for each individual student or learner, it's the same for us personally. You have to personalize your approach, and you are the best one that knows yourself. But I did like what you said earlier, Dina, about having check-ins with friends and co-workers and family members, because they're there as your support as well, and they help you keep in check as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Okay, Dina. Well, that brings us to the end of Tip Tuesday together. Would like to thank you for joining our wonderful community session today. And if it's okay with you, we might bring you back for another one in a little bit, because it sounds like we still have lots to uncover, Dina. That be okay with you?
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you so much for having me. It's always awesome chatting with you, and so nice to see some friends in the audience. So yeah, I would love to come back. It's always awesome talking to other educators, and definitely awesome talking about well-being as well, because it's so important.
Absolutely. And Shannon is saying thanks in the chat, Dina. So you got some love in there. And from Mel also. Yeah. So thanks everybody for joining across time zones today, and to our wonderful GEG Amen, or any of the other members of the GEG communities that are joining after the fact. Thank you for taking the time. And from Dina and I, we would like to wish everybody in the chat a safe, healthy, time at work or in half term if you're going into half term. Dina, I think it's the first time that our half terms are in sync, because I'm going into half term 2 in 2 days. So yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
we never coincide. That's awesome.
We never do. So we might actually get a nice personal check-in together next week then, since that's the case. So that'll be nice. Cool. So guys, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. As Dina said, take away all these awesome tips if you are a if you're part of the education community and you're also a parent. And even if you're not a parent, there's some things that I should keep in mind as well to take on board that Dina shared today too. So thank you so much for everything all of you are doing, including Dina and our friends in the chat, for the education community, students, parents, leaders. We all appreciate the extra mile that you're all superseding every day of the working academic year. So thank you for everything, and please stay tuned. Next week we will be here on Tuesday for Techie Tip Tuesday, and I do believe we have another guest coming in to share some techie tips of the techie nature. I think I said techie like 3 times in one sentence, right? That's not cool. Dean is going to be like, what was that all about? Yeah. So anyway, join us next Tuesday. We have a special guest coming in to share some really cool ed tech tips and strategies for supporting educators and students in the current pandemic. So we will be going live next Tuesday at 7 p.m. GMT plus 3, which is the equivalent to 6 p.m. in Dina's time zone, 5 p.m. in the UK. And if I'm not mistaken, that will be 5 a.m. No, I was going to say 5 a.m. PT, but that's not going to work. Anyway, you guys check on your time zone checker. So from Dina and I, stay safe, guys, and we'll see you all next week, okay? Take care.
Bye.